You were mentioning yesterday you fished the Mississippi River a lot. You love that winter and March window where you're really pounding those walleyes and sauger down there. You said a few things on how you present those baits that I found really, really interesting, versus live bait in particular.
You're right, Alan. As that water cools through the fall and into the winter, and mind you, we go out there and fish those Mississippi River walleyes and saugers all winter long, 12 months a year. The angler really has to tune their presentation to that water temperature. It would be really unsuccessful if we were out fishing fast and snap jigging in the middle of March like we are right now. And what we generally do in the cold water months is vertical jig in deep water and just hover that bait just inches off the bottom. It's sort of a presentation where less is more. And certainly the more action the angler puts into the bait, the fewer fish he's going to catch. And from the perspective of Trigger X, I think that gives those fish that are interacting with the bait, maybe thinking about striking it, a real snootful of those powerful Trigger X pheromones, and help convert those very negative cold water fish into fish that you can actually have a shot at catching.
Any way you look at it, it's all a plus, and that's what successful fishing is all about. Finding ways to get more fish to bite more often throughout the day. And this baby is one of those tools.
Yeah, beyond the addition of the sense and the taste of the bait, spent a fair amount of time looking at developing a bait that has the right texture, a texture that feels right to the fish once the fish bites the bait, as well as is appropriate for the fisherman. So it's easy to rig on a hook, doesn't tear apart really easily, and is supple enough to provide the bait with the kinds of actions that we need to help attract these fish.
Yeah, that texture's got to be just right. I think a lot of times walleye fishermen, as an example, think that bait has to be super soft, that super soft is good. And that is not the case. Let's face it, one of the major forages of walleyes in most lakes is what? It's perch. Yeah, you know, and they're certainly not soft and gooey like a siskel or a tulipy would be. But you know, the right texture is really, really a part of it, and too soft is not good.
One of the things we looked at in the laboratory was how walleyes respond in terms of taste to a whole library of different soft baits that are on the market right now. And we looked at really 3 different ones that a walleye angler might choose. We looked at power bait, and we looked at gulp, and of course we looked at Trigger X. And one of the things we noticed about power bait and gulp is that, you know, certainly we could get bites in that controlled environment from fish on those baits, but they would suck the bait in and blow it back out, you know, fairly rapidly. But in contrast, Trigger X, they'd come up, hit the bait, and really eat it, swim around the tank completely naturally. And obviously that means that to that particular fish on that day, that bait tasted exactly right. And we saw that time and time again in literally hundreds of experiments where walleyes would come up, eat Trigger X, and hold it for an extended period of time. And really what we saw is live bait-like performance. You know, a traditional live bait rigger might go out on a day like today and rig with leeches out in the mud or something like that, get a bite and sit there and feed that fish for many, many seconds, up to a minute, and hope that they would be able to catch that fish. And more often than not, with long enough feed times, they'd be able to get it. With Trigger X, we could see those same sort of live bait-like hold times with an artificial soft bait.
God, I don't know what it is. Feels like a walleye. Almost sure it's a walleye. Looks like a walleye, and it is a walleye. Oh yeah.
It's a nice one, Al.
Oh yeah.
Real nice.
That's a walleye shake. I know a walleye shake. Here, baby. Oh, you're so.
Got him.
Ooh, nice heavy one. There was a ton of bait off the structure when we came in on it. Looked really good. Now you can see this fish is looking pretty good too. Come here, baby. Look at that. Nice eyeball, huh?